Everybody, what's up? So recently, Asiansleepy asked for his 2024 discussion vlog. Do we play too many games, or do we not play enough games? And basically, the question boils down to, let me see here, cat in the way. Do you feel that we spend too much time playing video games from our collection, or do you feel that we don't play enough games from our collections? Honestly, for me, sometimes I feel like I don't play enough games from my collection. I'll explain why. When you play a lot of RPGs, you tend to get really engulfed in them and you lose track of time. You may not, focus on other games. Now, one of the things that I've heard is that with the game Elden Ring, for example, somebody's capped out at 999 hours. It's a huge commitment to a game. There are still people playing Skyrim where they're still finding a lot of different stuff. Even with the game Stardew Valley, somebody's played over 1,400 hours as the last leaderboard scores. So you do have a lot of people that have commitments to the same games. Another part of my problem, for example, with games is I may be playing a game, maybe see something different, may decide to take a break. So I play that, and then I don't go back to the other game for a while. So I'm trying to play games in my collection, but sometimes I add too many, which is why I'm trying to cut back on spending. Actually, I just bought my last game, in my opinion, for a while because I've got so many as it is. Now, something that people don't realize is I'm actually a bookworm first. So if I get sucked into a book and I read it, if I get into a series and we read it for a while, it may take me a while to get back into playing games. Another thing is with movies or TV shows. I might get sucked into watching one of those, so I may have to watch for so long before I actually decide to go back to something else. So there's a lot of back and forth. Even I haven't built any Lego kits for a bit, which I've got quite a few that I want to work on. But it all gets down to being sucked into another part of the hobby. Um, how do I want to put this part? What's the problem? I've like I've actually filmed so many of these responses, and I have not liked any of them. I filled about 12. Had different takes, started filming and just had to stop, redo it. Or the fuzz monkey was getting in the way, so I had to like stop it, or she stepped on the keyboard, which sucks, but nothing I could do there. Gotta love her. But another part of my problem is the like I'll hear somebody talk about a game, and I'm like, okay, that sounds cool, or a movie or something like that. Like I gotta check that out. Um, even like I've talked about in the past, there's a TV series that I started liking and watching called Midsummer Murders. It's just a long series. I think it's on series, what is it, 24 season. And I just started a few weeks ago. They switch main characters. And so I just switched over to that, got started on that one. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break because all the episodes are like 90 minutes long. Also got watching a new one called Brokenwood Mysteries, which is 90 minutes long as well. And it's kind of the same basis of like so many episodes per season. So there is that, but I've been watching with somebody else. So I can kind of like, work it out. Plus, they're not going to have any episodes for like 2 weeks. Everybody's on PBS. So kind of works out because I also have Acorns. So if I want to catch up at any point, you know, whatever they decide not to watch, or something else happens, I can, I can keep going. Um, but yeah, and sometimes I think like I spend too much time on stuff, especially in games. I've just gotten so wrapped up in them. It's not even funny. I just keep playing and playing. I'm like, what time is it? I'm like, oh crap. I gotta stop now. I gotta, got something to do or in the morning or whatever. See, it's like that. And right now, as things stand, I mean, if something changes in my life where I have more responsibilities, then I'm not going to have more time to play, obviously. And yeah, I need to cut back on my playtime, my reading, my movies, and that because I have other stuff going on. Um, so there is that. So how the future is going to impact things, I don't know. I really, truly don't, and that's part of it. The other thing is, when I was gone and not filming, I really wasn't doing much. Wasn't even really playing games, anything like that, just watching stuff or reading. Because trying to get back into playing games, it just felt like can't do this right now, can't do it. So I'm back to it. And I have, I've picked up the Switch. I need to recharge my battery so I can get back into playing on the Xbox and uh, charge up my remote for the PS4. But it's just like sometimes playing a game is a chore, just like anything else. It just feels that way depending on the game itself. It's like, okay, I gotta grind, I gotta do this, gotta do that. And it doesn't always work. And that's the bad thing. Because I don't know. It's kind of like you want to do more in life and you don't know how to feel about it. And yeah, I have the opportunity to do more than I used to, but at the same time, I need to be at a point where I can enjoy things. And it's like I've decided, except for a video that's coming up, I'm not going to do any more pickups videos because I feel like, okay, I'm just showing this stuff off. That's one thing, but I'm not talking about it because I haven't gotten to it yet. That's a completely different thing. And with buying games, I was just buying games that I felt like at one point to buy games. Yeah, I'll play them eventually, but then my mind's going, it's the bookworm problem. I'm going to use this analogy, right? To describe, collections. Bookworm problem is that we have the to read pile, and we constantly are adding to that read pile to the point where some of us would have to live to the end of time to catch up. Even then, we couldn't because we'd always be finding something more to read. And I sometimes feel that way with games or even movies and that. It's kind of weird. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. And like with a lot of the movies I've been buying up, for example, and a few TV shows, I've wanted to rewatch them. You can't find them on streaming. And that's something somebody asked, why don't you stream stuff? I'm like, because I don't want to. And the streaming sucks because you have to pay for it and that. Yeah, I've had to buy a few movies on streaming because I couldn't find them elsewhere. But that's one of my worries about gaming. And that's why I'm stopping because I figure I can have enough games because they said the next Xbox console particularly will be digital only. And I'm going, I don't know if I want to do that or not. I just want to keep playing my physical games. And even though I know that, like I may spend a week without gaming or 2 weeks because I'm doing something else, I know I have that to fall back on. I don't know. That's part of the problem. It's like reading articles, I'm finding, oh, new books in that to read, or, like this new game sounds interesting. But then I'm like, okay, do I really need it? That's another part of collecting is you just have to ask yourself that question once you get to a point is, do I really need it? Do I, you know, is it something I'm going to get to? Is it something that, how much is it going to cost? What can I do for other costs than that? Because, I think, you have a problem with collecting. This is how I figured it out. And I know other people have mentioned this. I think I'm just going to bring this up. I were a retro gamer dad even talked about it. Is when you have multiple tabs open and you're like checking prices, there might be a problem there. So I know that I'm never going to play my full collection. I know I'm never going to get there. Um, but I have but a few games that are non-RPGs that I can play that don't take very long just to get something different in. I bought a couple sniper games that looked interesting. But overall, that's the problem. I don't myself spend a lot of time. And I do kind of feel envious of people who do have that amount of time to where they have continuous time to play stuff. But when it comes down to it, the other thing I look at, and this is why I don't play a lot of stuff in my collection, that is I have a health problem to where I don't always have the ability actually to where you don't always have that ability to do stuff during the day. You might wake up and you don't feel good, and you're just like, I can't do anything today. With one of them, I sleep all day. Thankfully, it only hits once or twice a month, but when it does, I'm out for the count. The other one is so erratic, it's just hard to plan anything, which is why I look at it as I'm also not going to play anything. No, I'm not looking for sympathy. I just want to say that I just wanted to bring that up, that that's the case, because it's a reality in my life. It really, truly is. And I got the fuzzball, you know. She sometimes takes up a lot of attention, but I love her and she's worth it. She's actually being good. She's just laying next to the laptop right now while I'm filming this. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else to answer it. I really, truly don't, because of the fact that I think for some of us, as we get older, things come up where people have said, we don't have that time. Even though, like I've said, I got plenty of time with things now in my life, it doesn't feel like it. And there's just times where you're just like, I can't, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. There's a lot of, it's just the way the world works. With one of my other health problems, and I don't want to mention what they are. I just don't. It honestly sometimes makes it feel, no, you're not walking across the keyboard. It sometimes makes you feel like you can't do anything at all. You're just like, I can't deal with this today. And so I just don't do anything, and I hate that feeling. The reason I wanted to bring all this up is because I needed to be honest about, why sometimes I may not, talk about games for a long time or something else. It's just that's unfortunately the way that it is. It's nothing serious, nothing life threatening. None of them are anything like that. But it just adds to life, and it's just something else that happens, you know? Um, I know I'm saying, like I said, I've been filming, filmed a lot of these. I just want to get a lot of stuff out there. I know in the future, some things will change to where I can do a little bit more playing games than that. But for right now, for the most part, I've only gotten like a couple hours in each day in that, because I know I have to stop looking at eBay, Amazon, all that stuff for game deals. Same with movies and books and that. You have to tear yourself away from that. Otherwise, all because your collections start growing, growing, growing to where you're not going to have that time or energy to do that and behave yourself down there. One of my, one of my biggest problems, looking at stuff and not playing is sometimes, in addition to getting wrapped up in everything else, I like to look for different, like die-cast El Caminos. It's just, I like those cars. I like collecting them and that, the actual die-cast stuff. So I can spend time, looking up that stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of, it really is. But no, I mean, this is, I want, everything I'm talking about. I just want to bring, to the point that this is why I don't play, play everything in my collection. And the worst part of it is that I've got so many RPGs. Like, do I even have time to play all these? Yeah, some of them don't take that long, thankfully, but at the same time, I'm going, I don't know. I don't feel like playing today. Let me read a book or watch a movie or, finish up on watching Animaniacs on Hulu or whatever it is. I need to do that actually. But that's just life. Um, the other thing for me is I I don't watch a lot of gaming channels and that, but some of the few that I do, I see a lot of great game recommendations. Uh, I'll ask somebody, hey, how was this game like that? And if it sounds good, I might buy it. Going to play it, whatever. And that's just one of my problems. Somebody described it as like gamer ADD, where you buy something, you're like, oh, I gotta play this new one now, and I don't know, because one of the things I want to work on is soon, if not next month, probably in April and May, something like that, is I got a Lego scooter that I want to work on because it's been sitting in the build pile, and I just got two more Lego Technic kits. So I want to get back into doing that, and I just need to push myself, stop a lot of my habits, stop watching a lot of YouTube for educational stuff, a lot of the streaming services I have to get myself away from it long enough to where I can do that stuff. And that becomes a problem. You can watch a lot of YouTube or TV and that, but at the end, I'm just finding I have to do it in moderation, just step away from stuff because otherwise nothing will get done. Sorry if this has been so long, and I know it kind of stepped away from what Sleepy had asked a little bit, but in the end, it's really just how everything boils down to everything else. And yeah, um, I've had to step away from some stuff on YouTube that because I was just, whatever, and it's going to be topic for a video. So I'll save that for later. That's it, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Take care.